back to a new Star Wars Saturday. This one is going to be a little bit different. Usually you see me explaining what is this, these little things in the Star Wars shows and movies, like why is Palpatine so deformed, or how did Anakin become a Force ghost, and like what are the lightsaber colors and meanings, and how do Jedi and Sith get their lightsabers, and how to become knights and masters, those things. This one's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be my personal thoughts on the Han Solo film. And yes, I went to go see it on the opening night. I think it was a day or two ago. I got short-term memory loss. But my point is, this is my personal thoughts. If you have if your thoughts are different from mine, that's okay. I'm not going to judge you. Anyway, there will be major, and I mean capital MAJOR, major spoilers. So you got 3 seconds to turn away before I start. 3, 2, 1. You have been warned. Now, as you all know, Han Solo and Lando were not played by their respected characters or respected actors, Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams. Han was played by Alden Ehrenreich, that was his name, and Donald Glover played Lando. The guy who plays Han here, since this is before A New Hope, Harrison Ford couldn't play as Han. So they had to recruit a younger Han. Han wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all in this video. He certainly wasn't Harrison Ford. He wasn't the Harrison Ford, though, in the Han Solo that we all know. There were some moments here and there where Alden absolutely was, without a doubt, Harrison Ford's Han Solo, but there were times where I just didn't see it, where I had a hard time seeing it, like, was this really Han Solo? Really? But there is one thing I did understand that made sense. It showed a lot how Han became the pilot that we all know and love today. We first see him on Corellia, on his home planet Corellia. He wants to become a pilot and just and explore the galaxy. And he has shown his piloting skills by piloting a speeder all over Corellia, while him and Kira are pretty much doing scams, I think. Anyway, I'll get into that later. The movie overall was a little shaky at first, but towards the middle to the end of the film, I felt like it was truly a Star Wars film. The guy played as Han. He did win me and my audience over, or at least most of us, at least during some parts of it, and at least towards the end. Because there were some parts where, again, he wasn't really Han Solo, and then somewhere where that is definitely the Han Solo that we all know. I don't want to talk about it accurately, because if I did, I would have to do it piece by piece, and I don't want to make this too long of a video. It is not perfect, but if I'm on the good side of the fence, I'd say go see it, because it is very good. One bad part of it is that the opening kind of took too long. I mean, he's literally on, like, just Corellia, just doing some random stuff, and piloting speeders, just doing kind of, like, just useless stuff during the opening, and that took just too long. Han and Kira were piloting a speeder at crazy high speeds. They were running scams for the Pike Syndicate. If you don't know what those are, you get to see them a little bit in the Clone Wars, like through seasons 5 and 6 on Netflix. It's honestly not what I would think that Han and Kira, or at least the legendary Han Solo, even at his early life, would do for a living in a slum. Han mentioned somewhere in the opening that his dad worked on a ship just like the Millennium Falcon, or at least similar, either a similar type or the same type, and that gave me a big up right there, because it explains how Han is so connected with the Millennium Falcon. Why is it so precious to him? And for you Star Wars fans, even you average Star Wars fans, know Han Solo. If you know him, you know he is very connected with this Millennium Falcon. He will not give it up. He would rather die. Which, that makes a whole lot of sense. From that moment on, that's when it started to make me feel like that this was truly a Star Wars film. And the new Han Solo, he had my attention. One fun fact is he was part of the Empire for 3 years before he got kicked out of the Flight Academy for having a mind of his own. Yes, Stormtrooper Corps and pretty much the Empire in general, is literally brainwashed into doing things without question. That's why the Stormtroopers are pretty dumb. I mean, if you, like, they're pretty stupid. And before I go on, I'm just gonna say that's a big touch in canon, because in Star Wars Legends, which you guys heard of from my previous Star Wars videos, right? In Star Wars Legends, Han was a part of the Empire, and that is how he met Chewie. And again, that a very similar action, in a very similar situation, he meets Chewie in a very similar situation in this video, or in the Han Solo film. Han and his at the time girlfriend Kira wasn't really what I expected, nor did I feel like it was a big deal. Mostly because Han and Leia are just a classic, and they're like the original, basically. And it just hits home for both me and every Star Wars fan that knows Han and Leia, even though that is kind of an unfair comparison. Plain and simple, or in short, Alden wasn't entirely Han Solo to me personally, although he did have some moments, where he was absolutely the Han Solo that we know, the classic Han Solo. But overall, I had a good time seeing the movie, most of it. I did, however, what I really did have a hard time seeing was where he met Chewie. Like, I didn't really think about it at first, but right when I found out that Chewie was the Beast, Han was able to get Chewie to help him so that way they can both escape, was just mind-blowing, because it reveals that Han can speak a little bit Wookiee. Which, I mean, I'm sure you guys are wondering, how can Han and Luke understand Chewie? How can you understand him? Well, how you can understand his growls? Well, let's just say Han speaks a little Wookiee, and he even does so in the movie, which it completely justifies why he can understand Chewie in the original trilogy. And if you're asking me, where did he find Chewie? It was during his time in the Empire as a mud trooper, which I will come back to that. The tricks that Han uses, both in the original trilogy, is integrated into this movie to at least some degree, because it's before New Hope and before all the tricks. So I kind of wish they would have shown just a little bit more of the tricks. And the tricks he uses to succeed in his plans or his intentions totally made me get the old Han Solo feels anytime he did them. Chewie was spot on overall. His looks, his acting, I don't care who played him, that was just flawless. It was just perfect. Between now and the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, there was hardly a difference between Chewie's personality and his acting, anything. And their relationship to how quickly they connect completely makes sense to how they are today. Well, or at least in the original trilogy. A really big thing that I myself and kind of my buddies at school who were with me at the theater, we thought that Han should have had more time with the Empire because he was there for 3 years. And that intrigues me and many others a great deal, and other YouTubers. Like in Legends, there were times that, because again, there were times that I didn't really see Han Solo. Like, I didn't really think that was truly Han, and I could ask my buddies the same thing. The acting was not bad, though. The acting was really good. It's just being Han Solo. You don't just have to act like Han Solo, you gotta be Han Solo. That is just hard to see sometimes, because Han is not an easy person to be. Also, Tobias Beckett, whom you see with Han and Chewie in the movie, who was one of the mud troopers who just deserted the Empire, I think that's what it said. Han kind of looked at Beckett as somewhat of a mentor. The reason I say this is because if you look at the film and you look in depth, the two characters are very similar, but at the same time, different. Beckett is extremely talented with weapons, like gunplay. He does gunplays and stuff like that. and knows how to adapt with certain weapons and at certain times. And the fact that he even stated that he killed the legendary bounty hunter Aura Singh just completely blew my mind. It shocked me to my core. As I'm a massive Clone Wars fan, like I watched the Clone Wars and a couple of my buddies did because they're the same age as me. The Clone Wars was my childhood. And I knew Aura Singh as a sniper, assassin, a remorseless killer with no morality in her, no moral compass. Not to mention, there was a rumor that she was once a Jedi in the Order. Although we've never seen her actually use the Force, you don't have to like see them do this. They could use the Force to do just normal tasks. For example, like her sniping, that could be more, that's 100% accurate. I mean, no other sniper, not even Reiko Hardin, watch the Clone Wars, could have missed a shot like her. Like, her shots are just 100% impeccable. If you're in Aura Singh's sights, you're not going to survive. Which if the rumors are true that she is, or at least was part of the Jedi, that does explain her accuracy to some degree. Just a little bit. I want to see a Han Solo sequel. I didn't think about it until I didn't think about it till later. As there were other names that were mentioned by Beckett, like Bosk, Jabba the Hutt, but oddly, if you ask me, he didn't mention Boba Fett. Normally, if you think of a bounty hunter, you have to probably think of Boba Fett, right? Which, when I said Beckett and Han are similar but different, Beckett is the complete opposite of Han. That's why I said they're different, yet the same. Han likes to say he's a bad person, even though Kira always references to him as the good guy. Han wants to believe he's a bad person, but we all know, because we see him in the original trilogy, that he's a good person. He's not bad. In the end, he makes good decisions, while Beckett always makes the wrong decisions. Beckett has the mindset that anyone and everyone will betray you. And that can cause you to make some pretty bad decisions to innocent people who don't even know you or weren't going to betray you for any reason, who were truly loyal to you. But if you got that mindset, yeah, you're pretty messed up. In the end, Han will always make the right decisions, while Beckett will always make the wrong. The first action as Han as a mud trooper, like I said, that scene was the first action series. This is the first action of the show. It was worthy of attention, as we finally get to see the lower class Imperials, which is rare, other than normal stormtroopers. Dumb. The train scene had me both surprised and smiling. My buddies are like, the whole time. That was one of the best scenes in the entire movie. They were fighting a bounty hunter, a teenager starting a rebellion named Emphas Ness, facing our characters. That's a heck of a brave kid, if you ask me. Even in Star Wars, if you look closely, it shows that anyone can do anything, no matter how young you are, if you set your mind to it. And I really like that idea. I honestly do. It shows that in dark times, anyone can do anything. I'm 17, and with autism. When I was younger, I never thought I could do anything big. Look at me now. That's why I love that idea so much. It's so inspiring. That's why I'm so inspiring to you guys. Ness's theme, however, was kind of distracting at times, and I never really liked that. I don't really think, if you really think about it, not that many people in my audience did either. The combat was mind-blowing. I will give you that. It felt like Mandalorian, like the Death Watch. Watch the Clone Wars. It felt like it, because that is some darn good soldiering and some good combat skills right there. And Ness's mask was like a symbol of hope. That's what it was. Like Darth Revan's mask in Legends. It kind of looked like Darth Revan's mask too. Here's a picture of Revan right now. And here's a picture of Ness. The Falcon should have been in the film more as well. Also, L3, Lando's droid, was entertaining at first. But by the end, she kind of got annoying. But when she saves the crew from destruction, it made by becoming one with the ship. Like Lando interfaced her data with the ships. Like, so she became part of the ship. Her AI is part of the ship. Which it makes sense as why in Empire Strikes Back, 3PO tries to read the ship's dialect and he thinks it's extremely strange. Because she has the best text piloting skills in the galaxy. At least I think that's what Han said. Chewing the Wookiees was interesting as well to me and my buddies, but the designs, except for Chewie's, the Wookiees' designs were kind of off. In Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, right here, they looked like true Wookiees. They looked like true Wookiees that belong to Chewbacca. But in this, they look like this. The Wookiees, I'm sorry for being repetitious, but the Wookiees now looked like this. The 12 parsec Kessel Run that we all know Han always talks about was completely unexpected for me and my buddies, as the way they do it was completely flawless. This probably was the biggest thing that made Alden really look like Han Solo. If that's not it, I don't know what it was. Them going through some weird mist and battling insane creatures that I've never even dreamt of, or not even in any unnatural video game I could have ever imagined this. These weird creatures. And not only that, battling them and trying to escape a massive disintegrating black and red hole was unexpected on a massive scale. But that is a very good thing. Because honestly, that is a true Kessel. It shows how dangerous Kessel really was. I mean, it's rumored to be an extremely dangerous place, uninhabitable. And this Kessel Run truly shows why Han is so legendary. Not that long during the Kessel Run, the Empire briefly appears as well. Plus, that's like the only ship battle in it, which I enjoyed. It felt like A New Hope, because they were facing the Millennium Falcon versus TIE Fighters. But it just felt... I mean, honestly, they should have had a little bit more ship battles, and a little bit less soldier on the ground, boots on the ground gun battles. Another really big thing that is new is the ending was personal and small. Usually in Star Wars we see big finales, like the destruction of the Death Star or the defeat of the Emperor. But we got a small personal one. I was like, okay, I'm satisfied. It just made it feel new and fresh, and that's good. The motivations in the ending made total sense. The only thing I hated was Dryden Voss, the guy with those marks on his face. Voss was just kind of a scumbag overall. I never really liked him. One thing that I can't deny fascinating was the artifacts that I found in his office, which hardcore Star Wars fans like myself, and you guys out there, if you are a hardcore Star Wars fan, and when I say hardcore, I mean this, every tiny little thing. I saw some artifacts like a Sith holocron in his office that hardcore Star Wars fans can find, and you can go check out and pick up on. See if you find anything and comment down for me. After rewatching the movie, at least. Anyway, Han pulls another trick from before, like the old switcheroo. The moment I saw that, I was like, oh, that's just classic Han. Near the end of the film, Beckett betrays them. Again, because you know his mindset. Everyone's going to betray you. He takes Chewie and their whatever that force thing is on. I think it's like hyperspace fuel. And he takes that and leaves, betraying them. When Han catches up to them, Beckett starts monologuing and talking, blah, blah, blah. Han just pulls his gun and just kills him. And there's one thing you gotta remember, Beckett. Han always shoots first. One thing I do gotta mention before I end this video, Kira contacts her true boss at the end, right after Beckett is killed. Crimson Dawn is what he was known as throughout the film. Who is then revealed to be the former Sith Lord, Darth Maul. The moment my friend Clark and I saw a robotic leg in the hologram and that Clone Wars Maul voice, because we both watched it when we were little, I got blown up inside. We both knew who that was, right before anyone else did. And when he took off that hoodie, we knew. I almost jumped out of my seat. Maul, by the way, looks beyond amazing. He looks phenomenal. He was played by his original actor in episode 1, Ray Park, while voiced by Sam Witwer, who voiced him in the Clone Wars. Those two combinations was stunning. It was just perfect. For you hardcore Star Wars fans, that is just the biggest cameo and biggest twist in Star Wars that I have ever seen. I don't even know if I've ever seen a twist or a cameo like this in any other movie in my life. And Maul's outfit and description, since this is between A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith, and takes place right before or during the beginning seasons of Star Wars Rebels, it lines up with it exactly. His double-bladed lightsaber is exactly the same as the one in Rebels. Again, go check out Star Wars Rebels. Season 2 and 3 at least, because that is when Maul is in the movie. I honestly, after Maul got killed by Obi-Wan for good, he got killed on Tatooine in the sub-finale of Star Wars Rebels. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. I never thought I'd see him again. I never thought I would ever hear Sam Witwer as Darth Maul ever again. Boy, I was wrong. There is one thing I'm going to say. This movie is without a doubt for the hardcore Star Wars fans like myself, my buddy Clark, his brother, and a bunch of others that were with me. We are true Star Wars fans. This movie was definitely for us. Overall, I actually enjoyed this video without a doubt, but it's not my favorite. Rogue One was better than this, but I'm not going to say that the Han Solo film was bad. It was very good. It's a very watchable movie. It's a movie that you would enjoy rewatching. It was better than I expected. Well-made characters, well-made scenes as well. I could forget the story, but the characters I'm never going to forget. It's a good movie, but not a great movie. Overall, it's a positive for me. Go see the movie, definitely. That is it. Go see the movie is all I'm going to say. May the Force be with you guys, and have a great day, my friends.